NBC27 Digital Now Center. This is Beyond the Forecast with your most accurate local meteorologists.
It sure is, and we will go beyond the forecast again. Good morning, everybody. I am meteorologist Brett Thacker. Great to be with you here on a Thursday, and once again, we dealt with flash flooding yesterday. I sat right here, and we talked about the issues that were before us yesterday, and we said that areas south and east of Harrisburg stood the best chance to get some flash flooding. I was a little dubious of the setup, but sure enough, the heaviest rain jogged far enough north that our southern counties got inundated with rain. The National Weather Service had that flash flood watch very well painted yesterday across Adams, York, and Lancaster counties. We're going to show you and recap what happened here in just a little bit, but we are going to begin with some headlines first as we check out our view from Hummelstown. It is a cloudy start to the day. It's humid out there. We do expect fewer storms over the next 3 days, which is good news. More storms than Sunday and Monday, so more widespread activity Sunday and Monday. There's going to be storms around each of the next 3 days, but I do think Sunday and Monday ahead of a front, it will probably be worse. And staying hot, staying humid, these dew points, as we mentioned yesterday as well, we don't get a break from them. It just is not how it's going to be, where we have a couple of humid days and then we get a couple of days where it's nicer. Nope, the humidity is here to stay. We've got a foggy start. It's lifting a bit behind the clock tower there in Lewistown. It looks like a overcast morning as we continue to deal with these conditions. Notice the satellite and radar loop is trying to clear out across the northwest. So some clearing in these parts of the state. Erie, Bradford, Pittsburgh, Du Bois here. We will continue to deal with clouds likely for the next several hours, but I do expect things to improve, and we should see some sunshine by the afternoon hours. The radar is quiet for now. We had some rain earlier in a line along Franklin County, kind of scooting this way, and you can see that rain now lifting out of the region, which is good news. But I mentioned a recap. Let's recap what happened here yesterday, and let's take you full screen. Here we have the setup, and again, which counties saw the most rain? Well, it was the southern counties, parts of Franklin County, South Mountain, York, Lancaster County, right there. So again, as I mentioned, kudos to the National Weather Service. They did a good job painting that watch in the proper areas. We mentioned it here too, that we thought the southeast was favored, and York and Lancaster counties getting between 1 and 2 inches of rain yesterday, a fairly decent amount. And then looking at the pocket where we had a flash flood warning for a time, and there were several, but notice where the highest rain amounts were, over 4 inches of rain being reported in a very short amount of time. That's going to lead to flash flooding. When we zoom out, let's talk about storm reports. Again, notice the cluster of storm reports yesterday centered over Philly, but also locally across York and Lancaster counties. We mentioned that there would be a small wind damage threat as well, and that happened as well. So flash flooding last night in Hallam, they seem to get the worst of it. That lines up with the radar estimates of over 4 inches. A sinking vehicle there at an intersection. Again, please don't set yourself up for this. I realize that sometimes this can happen fast and sometimes it's nobody's fault, but please do not drive through floodwaters. It creates very hazardous conditions. And then some wind damage in Safe Harbor, just across the river in Lancaster County. A roof was blown off a structure, multiple trees reported down just after 4 o'clock. So again, plenty of damage reports and flooding reports yesterday confined in York and Lancaster counties. Current temperatures in the 70s. It's a warm morning and it's muggy. And again, the dew points are not as bad across the rest of the state. But let me just again highlight, look at where the dark green colors are. Right along the Susquehanna River Valley, over toward Philly. Look at that. We are just socked in here across the southeast quadrant of the state with high dew points. That's not changing anytime soon. 88 degrees, clouds early today, and then still a thunderstorm possible later. We don't expect many, though, today. 74 tonight, mostly clear. Muggy conditions persist. Get used to it. So we've got high pressure that is situated out across the Atlantic, and we call that, again, the Bermuda High. And that is helping to be this source of this heat pump source across the region. And so what it does is it just pumps in the heat and humidity right here like this. We get what's called the ring of fire. And even though there's some drier air back to the west that we can see in the darker colors, the heat and humidity in this zone over the next few days will keep the weather a bit on the stormy side. Now, again, we expect improvement over the next 3 days. Yesterday, we had that area of low pressure and that front cross through you see here on the surface map. But as long as the weather is hazy, hot, and humid, we are going to continue to see storms develop and storms that will produce heavy rain because the atmosphere is water loaded thanks to the high dew points. But here's some good news. Look at PrecisionCast. The coverage today seems very sparse. So will there be a storm or two? Yes, I think so. We're not under any type of a watch or anything like that today for flash flooding. That's good news. Now, tomorrow and Saturday, we probably have a decent chance of what we call pulsars, these thunderstorms that boil up with the heating of the day. Like right here you see over the ridgetops, they dump some rain for a bit and then poof, they die out. The same thing is likely to happen Saturday. So we can't promise dry weather, but look at how sparse the coverage is, right? There's going to be some spots that stay dry. Hopefully for York County and Lancaster County's sake, those spots stay dry over the next 3 days. When we paint the rainfall amounts, remember, no one model is going to do a great job. No one model could have told us yesterday that Hallam was going to get 4 inches of rain. But what they can do is tell us, hey, we think the heaviest rain is going to be south and east of Harrisburg. So that forecast was pretty good yesterday. It's going to be even tougher to know who gets the heavy rain over the next couple of days because storms are just going to be popcorn-like. I like this map, though, because it gives us an indication that, notice most of us here really get very little rain, okay, through tomorrow. But what this is saying is that there will be some spots, and not necessarily Carlisle, not necessarily Reading, but there will be some spots that get an inch or two of rain again from these heavy downpours. We just don't know exactly where that's going to be. So a heads up, if you do have plans, there will be more storms around, but you are more likely to stay dry than not over the coming 3 days. Temperatures remaining pretty consistent, near 90 degrees. That's where we should be this time of year. There's nothing wild about this. But I do want you to take a look at next Saturday because this is when I do think we get a break. Not this weekend, but next weekend there are signs that it gets cooler and it finally can turn less humid. And speaking of that, let's take a moment here because I want to pull up the dew point chart again and show you what I'm talking about. This is a look at these dew points when we finally start to get a break, and I think it is by next weekend. So notice, again, we want dew points below 70 degrees, and there will be times where maybe they drop below 70 for an hour or two, but we're taking it out. Here's Monday, all right? Dew points in the 70s. Remember, Sunday and Monday, we expect storms. Dew points, though, remain in the 70s, even though Tuesday and Wednesday look dry. We get maybe a little relief by the middle part of next week, but then we're right back to more high dew points by Thursday and Friday. I don't really see the humidity changing until, look at this, we get some drier air in here. That's next Friday night when a front moves through. By next Saturday, that's July 18th here, July 19th. Then we start to see the dew points drop a bit heading into that weekend, which would be good news. Now, I don't know how long that's going to last because we can see the extent that it brings in more high dew points, but maybe not as persistent. So that's certainly some good news. We are targeting next weekend, okay, July 19th and 20th, for a bit of a cool down and a bit of a break in the humidity, which is certainly good news. Our precip chances look pretty consistent for the next 3 days. Only a 30% chance of a storm today, tomorrow, Saturday. Can't promise a 0% chance until next Tuesday and Wednesday. And then Sunday and Monday, those are the key days where we expect things to be stormy. So the next 3 days you can kind of take as a cluster. Cloudy early today, and then a stray thunderstorm. Warm and humid Friday and Saturday, and then maybe a stray thunderstorm each day, but far fewer than what we've been dealing with here over the past few days. I think Sunday and Monday we have a chance to have a repeat of what happened the last couple of days thanks to a front. The storms will be more numerous. The dew points are going to continue to be high. So, again, I think we have to be on guard for more flash flooding incidents Sunday and Monday. And then Tuesday and Wednesday will be dry. But, again, we do expect it to be humid still. So there's really no rest for the weary. I do want to take us out here and show you a couple of things in the model world before we wrap things up. Let's go to the HRRR model because this is really going to, again, as we look at the high-res models, compare that to our PrecisionCast. And notice, unfortunately, this does show some showers developing here across southeastern Lancaster County. We hope that's not the case. We think all the rain is to the east, but it really does not show much coverage across the viewing area today with storms. That's good news. Let's now go to the NAM, another high-res model that, again, pretty much nailed yesterday. I thought the storms came in maybe a little bit earlier than some of the model guidance suggested, but let's line this up for you with a focus on our region. it really doesn't have many storms today. And I think even tomorrow, maybe the coverage is pretty sparse. So this keeps us pretty dry the next 3 days. So that's the hope. That's the good news as we look ahead. Let's now go to the National Weather Service, because they did a really good job yesterday of pinpointing here where the weather was. So they say that a typical summertime pattern is going to roll in here second half of July with a rinse and repeat forecast. That's true. It also believes the best rain signal is Sunday, and then Tuesday and Wednesday could trend lower. I agree with them as we look at their Twitter account here, and then they also show and talk about the rainfall amounts over the past 24 hours. Notice, again, similar to what I showed you on the radar, where the highest rain amounts were. 3, 4, even close to 5 inches of rain across parts of York and Lancaster counties yesterday. Just incredible stuff as we recap what was a busy 24 hours. Again, better news is ahead. Fewer storms the next 3 days. Still, there will be some popping up. Best chance of storms looks to be Sunday and Monday before things dry out. And, of course, we'll keep you posted. As always, for Beyond the Forecast, thanks for joining us. I'm meteorologist Brett Thacker. We will see you soon.